Craig Holiday training call. We're very excited about these calls. We've been planning them for a while. As many of you know, Craig Holiday's been doing some great work with our teams in the field, different leaders across the country, and really making a big impact on their businesses and on their focus, on their achievements, etc. So we've been working with Craig trying to get a lot more opportunities for as many of you to hear the teachings and the mastery that we've been able to share with some of our top leaders. So this is our first chance. And how to introduce this gentleman? Well, he's been doing a great job for us individually with our coaches around the country. A lot of you had a chance to spend a little time with him and hear what he has to say at the summit. And now you're on if you're on the road and checking out our SOS tours, Craig did a great job for us in Dallas and in Hawaii last weekend. We've got Nashville coming up, also Chicago, as well as Las Vegas. So you don't want to miss these opportunities to check out Craig in person, as well as the rest of the team. We call them the boys on the road with MJ Durkin and Carl Deichler and Larry Zimberg. So don't miss those opportunities. And without any further delay, let's go ahead and get you started. Craig, are you out there?
I'm here, Ed, ready to go. So thanks for the great introduction, and we'll take it away. So I just want to say hi to everybody and welcome you on these calls. I'm really excited about getting a chance to do them. I know a lot of you have had a chance to meet around the country and face to face, and some of us sitting down, even having lunch and coffee, and planning out and strategizing for your own personal businesses, and be able to sit down with Brett and him say, why don't we do a national call so we can get some of this information out to the masses? And I got really excited about that. And so we're going to do the next 8 weeks. Every Tuesday morning at 9 o'clock, I'm going to be on here live and ready to rock and ready to roll. And those of you that know me know that I'm passionate about this business. I'm passionate about relational marketing, but I'm especially passionate about this Beachbody company, because I believe we're sitting on an explosive gold mine right now for all of us as we grow this business. We're a 3-year-old company, a company that has 26,000 people involved, which is minute, there will be a million distributors or coaches in this organization over the next few years, and you'll be able to say, hey, I was back in when we only had 26,000. But I'll tell you what, when you look at where we're going with the dream and the passion that Carl's embedded in this business and that you all continue to run with, I'm excited about our future and excited about where we're going. I just want to cover a few of the topics. I'm just going to roll out for a few of the topics that I'm going to be covering over the next 8 weeks, let you know kind of a direction we're going in. One of the things we're going to be talking about is how to start a new coach effectively. I think one of the things I've seen around the country, we're good at signing coaches up. We're good at their birth date, and that's the first day they signed up. But some of us need to learn what it means to walk them to the lake, get involved in their lives the first 30 days, do it with them, and then we'll do it for them, with them, and then counsel them on how to do it. So we're going to be covering that as one of our weekly topics. We're going to be talking about the power of network marketing. I'm going to give you 16 points of why this business compares to nothing else in the country, why there's nothing out there that can come close to the business that we're all involved in. It's going to be a great opportunity for you to take notes and a great opportunity for you to sit down with anybody you know that owns their own business and compare all 16 points to their business and say, tell me that this isn't the best business that exists in the country. I'm also going to give you a presentation of this business, of how to present this business in a 30 to 40-minute time, whether you do it on the back of a napkin, on a McDonald's bag, but I'm going to give you what I call a hip pocket presentation of how to present this business and be able to sit down with anybody at any time and show this opportunity. I'm also going to do 1 week where I talk about the glue. And the glue is the relationships in the business. When you look at the whole story of Beachbody, the whole story is not P90X. The whole story is not Insanity. It's not Turbo Fire. It's not Chalene Extreme. It's not even the business part. It's all of those things together. So we're going to talk about all of those things together, adding up to what? The relational side of the business, the face-to-face, the building relationships, sitting down with people and taking them and opening up some boxes and getting some old dreams out and putting them on the table again and being able to move forward. So that'll be our topic for one of the weeks. I'm going to talk 1 week on the 10 points of leadership. What are the 10 points that make up a leader? And you're going to be able to evaluate some of the people in your business and say, well, that person's a 3-point leader or a 4-point leader. And ultimately, our personal goals is to become, obviously, 10-point leaders. I'm going to talk 1 week on passion and attitude, just the attitude and the passion it takes to drive this kind of a business. This is a very different business. A lot of us have owned businesses. I owned a construction company, built custom homes for 15 years. I don't ever remember having necessarily the greatest attitude building my business. I don't remember having the greatest passion every day getting up and going in and building and framing walls and pouring concrete and all those kinds of things. In this business, it needs to be driven by that passion, that drives your guy's heart every single day. Another week, I'm going to talk about time management, how to use your calendar effectively. That's another one of the biggest challenges I meet with coaches around the country is we don't manage our time well. We're not good time managers. We don't know how to use our calendars effectively so we can be where we are. And what that means by being where you are, and those of you that have been on calls where I've talked about time management, being where you are is simply being able, if you're with your husband, you can spend that time and not think about anything else. When you're with your kids, you can do that same. When you're building your business, you can do the same. When you're at work, you can do the same. And the only way we can be where we are in our life is when we decide to manage our time, where we know we have spots of time every day in a week to take care of all those parts of our life. So that'll be another one of our topics over the next 8 weeks. So that's to give you a good idea about where we're going. I want to be able to tie in some motivational stuff, some passion, some dreams, along with some technique of what it takes to move on in this business. But today I want to talk about, first of all, I wanted to mention the Summer Success Tour that we just came off of the last 2 weekends. I'm going to tell you right now, whatever you have to do to get to a Summer Success day seminar, you've got to be there. You know, with our MJ talking about prospecting and how to get this business in front of people, and Larry sharing the game plan and a lot of other highlights that Larry shared over the weekend, you know, my talk about the why and why is it important for us to have a why in our life and a dream, and that gets us and allows us to endure in our lives. And then Carl closing with two of the best talks of the last 2 weekends I've ever heard Carl do. He was passionate about not quitting. You know, just don't quit, making a promise that he never would, which we all knew. But really a different side of Carl I've ever seen, a real emotional side of really believing in you guys and believing in the people that he's always had, but being able to see him on stage and communicate that. I just want to encourage you. I know we have Chicago coming up. We have Nashville coming up. We have Vegas coming up. And most of you around the country, if you're not close to one of the other two, you can get cheap flights into Vegas on September 11th. So I would suggest whatever you have to do to get there, it'll knock 6 months off you getting your business to the point where you want to get it. But one of the things we've kind of labeled these next 8 weeks is the performance for 90 days of excellence. And I guess it's kind of a takeoff on P90X. And I brought that up as we discussed what we were going to call these next 8 weeks. And I think part of it is I'm on my 11th week with P90X right now, and getting a chance to meet a lot of you around the country that have done P90X. It's transformed the way you look physically, the way you feel physically. And I look at the commitment that it takes to do this, and I know it. I'm up every morning at 7 a.m. That's my workout time. And this morning I did legs and back, and I didn't feel like doing it. I didn't feel like doing all those chin-ups and, you know, those squats against the wall with one leg out and all those kinds of things. But we do it when we don't feel like it. We do it not on emotion, but we do it because we said we would, that we make a commitment to that. And so for a lot of us, this performance for 90 days is that excellence. What I want to challenge you is, have you ever done this business for 90 straight days as hard as you possibly could? Not letting anything get in the way, not letting how you feel get in the way, not letting life get in the way. But have you ever chosen to grab 90 days of this business and go after it harder than you've ever done before in your life? You know, even a lot of the P90X people I talked to around the country have never done that. And they look back and I say, just think of the discipline it took. I know Dallas Carter, the first time I met him in Honolulu, we were talking about his transformation and what P90X did in his life. And, you know, one of the things Dallas told me, he says, you know, I was so disciplined, Craig, when I was working that every single day of my life. He said, if I was in the middle of it and the phone rang, he said, and that distracted me, I would push the CD back to start, push it, start again, and I'd start the whole process over because I wanted to be 100% committed to that. And I want to challenge you over the next 8 weeks as we talk about these things, that some of us on this call can start to work their business with that kind of intensity and work it for 90 straight days. A gentleman, he asked me the other day, he said, how long does it take to make a six-figure income in Beachbody? And my answer was 90 days. He goes, only 90 days? I said, absolutely. Because if any of you will work this business as hard as you've ever worked in your life for 90 days, putting everything else aside, what you'll find will happen is you will have the foundation of a six-figure income. It will be in place. Now it's just a matter of time. And our greatest asset in relational marketing and network marketing is time. It takes time to develop strength of numbers. It takes time to develop strength of leaders. But your foundational business is in place in 90 days. So that's what it takes. It takes 90 days. Most of us incubate, right? We have our birth date the day we sign up in the business, and then we turn around and in whatever time it takes for us to go from A to B is when we start to build our business. And I think for some of you, if you'll get to Summer of Success, it'll take that A to B journey and shorten it for you so that you can get out there and build this thing and grow this business. But I've got 5 W's to talk about today. The first one is why. The second one is when. The third one is work. The fourth one is wisdom. And the last one is to win in this business. Let's talk about the why first. A lot of you know that. I talk about that all the time because I learned in my business years ago, if you don't have a why, you're never going to build this business. If there's not a reason for you to do something greater with your life than what you're doing. A lot of you are sitting right now as you listen to this call, you're sitting at a cubicle in a job you've had for 15 or 20 years. And that job has never rewarded you the way you know that you deserve to be rewarded. And we all know that I'm not here to put the jobs down, but we all know that as long as we'll work for whatever they'll pay us, that's what they're going to pay us. That you're never going to be paid what you're worth working in a job. You're only going to be paid what they need to pay you to keep you there. And with the economy the way it is, most of us are working for less than we deserve. And so as you're sitting in that cubicle today, I want you to think about it. You've been given a gift in this business. If you've got a dream and you've been given a gift to go out and change your entire future if you want to where you don't have to worry about money anymore. You don't have to worry about if something happens to you, your family being taken care of. You don't have to worry about where the college money is going to come from when the time comes to pay it. That's the opportunity that all of you have in this business if you'll just grab a hold of it. One of the things I talk a lot about is DNA, and that's determined natural ambition. That's my definition. I know it's not the same as the DNA that we all have in our body, but that's what I call it, because the DNA of your determined natural ambition is a gift to you. It was given to you the day you were born. It's not something you can get. A lot of people say, can I ever get motivated in my life to go out and do more in my life? The answer is the DNA is what motivates you, because the determined natural ambition means you've got that inside of you. You've got this desire to do something so much greater with your life than you've ever done before. And you know the funny part about that? It's that voice that some of us hear sometimes. Someday, some way, I'm going to do something great with my life. And a lot of us have heard that since we were little kids. I was 80 pounds overweight in the 6th grade, sitting in a closet where I used to hide because my life was pretty bad, and I had an abusive family, and my mom's an alcoholic, and all the stuff in the past. But, I remember sitting in that closet by myself, hearing some voice that someday you're going to do something great with your life. I didn't know what it was, but I did know one thing, that I was different, that I was born different, that I had something different than a lot of other people had. I've got 4 brothers. I love all of them. But I can be honest with you, none of them had the DNA I have. They're happy being average. They're happy living average. They're happy pretty much being broke in their lives. And I don't put them down. I love my brothers. I love going out and hanging out with them up in Oregon. But I can promise you this, that they don't have the same music inside that needs to be sung that I've been given. And I do realize that's a gift, and so do a lot of you. And you know what it boils down to? It boils down to, for a lot of us on this call, is to go out and we take those dreams that a lot of us have put up in the attic of our lives, and we've stowed them away. For a lot of us, when we were young kids, we were great dreamers. There were things we were going to accomplish, anything we wanted in our lives. We were going to do wonderful and amazing things. And as we moved forward, what began to happen is we realized that as life started beating us down, we started finding ourselves more looking back at our past and the things that didn't happen for us and the things that weren't good for us, and it starts to eliminate some of our dreams. So I want to challenge you today, for a lot of you, to start thinking about what it is that you really did and do want in your life the most. Because I guarantee you this business, when you look at it from a significance perspective and a success perspective, it's the only business I know where you can create significance and success simultaneously. Most of us spend half our life trying to be successful, the second half trying to be significant. We have an opportunity, if you have a dream, in the gift that you've been given in this crazy, crazy relational marketing business, to go out and change the lives of not only your life, but the lives of literally thousands of people. For a lot of you, this business is your sweet spot. The sweet spot is, I used to be a baseball player, and there's a spot on a bat it's about the middle of the head of the bat, and there's a spot of about 6 inches, and if you hit a baseball there, it's going to go out of the park no matter what. You get a good swing on it, it's gone, because that's the spot of the bat you want to hit. And for a lot of you, you're starting to begin to determine and realize that your sweet spot is this business. It's what you get up in the morning loving to do, what you go to bed thinking about, because you know and you begin to see that when someone gives you an opportunity along with the dream that you've been given, the DNA that you have, that someday, some way, I'm going to do something great with my life, as soon as you embrace that, then all of a sudden this whole business becomes your sweet spot. And so as I look at that and I realize that for most of us, the why is what's going to generate our life. The why is what's going to give us the endurance to go through. The why is what's going to make it, doesn't matter what our day is like, whether life hits us in the face, because life is going to do that. Jerry Falwell says you're either in the middle of a struggle, coming out of one, or you're going to get a phone call tomorrow. That's the way we live our life. Life is not going to stop and be easy for you so you can go 15-star diamond. But what is going to drive you forward is the dream and the reason why you're doing it. And it's got to be an intensive one. It's got to be a dream that sometimes we don't even want to tell anybody else because it's so humongous and so big. That's the kind of dream you need to drive your business forward. Let's talk about when. We need to make measurable goals in this business. A lot of us, it's easy to say, if I ask you, when are you going diamond, don't tell me someday, or don't tell me you're working on it. You give me a date when you're going diamond. What is the date that you can put on a paper that you will create a covenant with that you will not be denied? And so many of us fear failure so much that we don't put dates on things, because then we're always safe. There's no chance of failing. You know what my answer is to that? Put a date on it and refuse to fail. Guy said the other day, what if I fail? I said, just don't. Don't allow yourself to do that. You've got to write those goals down. What are they? When are you going to get there? The whole idea, it has to be deadline driven, because that's the way we work. That's what makes us best. I guarantee you, if someone said your house will be gone in 30 days, if you don't do 30 presentations in the next 30 days, you will do it. because there's no question about it, there's a deadline on it. So we need to put deadlines on our dreams and our goals and what we're going to accomplish in this business. When are you going to have that? And the focus becomes the when. And a lot of that becomes the work ethic of what you do every single day and what you're willing to do every single day. So we got to quit wandering around. We're like a ship without a rudder for some of us, because what we are is we're just not willing to put those dates on it. And I got to believe when it comes to someday is today, a lot of us, if we look at today, right today, and you look at the last 90 days in your business, because we're talking about the next 90, but let's take a look at the last 90. If you sit down and you evaluate your last 90 days in this business, and your life was dependent on it, your dreams dependent on it, your kids' futures dependent on it, and you really understand that, is there any of you that wouldn't have worked differently the last 90 days? And some of us, you know what, we just faced this constant challenge of being average in our life. We were average. We never did much in the past. But one of the things I love about this business, no one ever says, where have you been? All they say is, where do you want to go? What is it you want to accomplish? Where do you want to be in your life? What are the things that you want to do with your life? But for a lot of us, we look over our shoulder and we turn around and we try to hope that maybe we can just somehow get in the game. Get in the game. A lot of times people say they want to try to understand life. I think most people just want to be able to live life. And I think that this business, when you get out of the control of time and money, that your life will completely change, will be an entirely different experience for you. I had a guy in my Amway business, and he was a good friend of mine, and every time I asked him when he was going diamond, he'd say, I'll be there someday. I'll be there someday. And you know what? Let me tell you about someday. It doesn't exist. There's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and there's no other day of the week. There isn't an eighth day called someday. Well, he got an awakening one day when he called me on the phone. It was about 8 o'clock in the morning. He was crying on the phone. He said, you know what my son put on my mirror when I went in to shave this morning? He had put it on last night. He scotch-taped it to his mirror. He wrote this, Dad, some days today. His very own 7-year-old son understood that, Dad, quit saying someday, because someday is today. And I think that if we can start to understand that in our lives, it'll get us. Some of us have been standing outside the stadium of Beachbody trying to buy a ticket to get in. Some of us have been sitting in the stands for a number of months now trying to figure out a way to get on the field and in the game. Some of you are sitting on the bench in this business, and you know who you are. You're sitting on the bench in this business and watching life go by. You're watching people succeed. You're watching this business grow around you. You're watching them sell hundreds of thousands of dollars of Shakeology every week, people getting in mass numbers. You watch this business growing all around you, yet you sit on the bench and you wonder, can I get in that game? Can I win at this business? And the very thing that keeps you back is your own self-doubt about whether you can or whether you can't go out and build a business like this. I'm going to challenge you today for some of you is to get off the bench, get in the stadium, get out of the stands, get off the bench and get in the game. And you know what? Whatever you've done in the past, I've got a lot of trophies from a lot of accomplishments playing baseball and a lot of things I've done in my life. But you know what they mean today? Absolutely nothing. There's no meaning to them because it's what I'm doing today with my life. Because all I'm given is today. The past is gone. We can't go back. We can't grab it. I've been on this call for 19 minutes. I'll never get those 19 minutes back. We can't go back and change one thing about our past. But what we can do is wake up in the morning full of passion, excited about our lives, put our feet on the ground, be alert to life, and say, what am I going to do today? Am I going to take my eyes off myself and realize life's not about me, but it's about others? And am I going to go out and begin to do what it takes to become successful in my life so that I can get in the game? And some of you need today, this very day, draw a line. Put a line right across what you've done up till now in this business. I don't care if you've been in 6 months, 1 month, 1 year, 2 weeks. Draw a line today and make a decision that I'm tired of being tired of being tired. I'm tired of going and building someone else's dream every day of my life. I'm going to spend the next 90 days working more intently than I've ever worked before in my life, pulling out all the stops, getting rid of all the fears, getting rid of all the anxiety, and I'm going to go after this dream. Point number 3, work. What does it take to build this business? I have a really simple answer for you. If somebody says, what's it going to take? I said, whatever it takes, 24/7. Whatever it takes, 24/7. I don't have a magic wand. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't look in a crystal ball and determine how many presentations you're going to need to do to find 30 coaches that'll go out and are excited about this business. I know the statistics. Usually you show 100, 30 get in, 10 quit, 10 stay in and buy a product, and 10 build big businesses. That's what happened in my Amway business. But I don't know what that is. I wish I did have that answer for you. But you've got to come to a point because this is your future. Those of you that this is your sweet spot, those of you that have the DNA. Because let me tell you something about when you have the DNA again. Here's what you need to understand. The struggle is much, much, much less painful than regret. So struggle on the way in your life is much less painful than regret. Regret is very painful, extremely painful. So some of us need to decide, I'll do whatever it takes every day and struggle, whether it's personal change, personal growth, whatever it takes, I'll do that now because I don't want to be 70 years old with regrets in my life. I don't want to die with the music inside. I don't want to die with this DNA. A lot of us were born, I believe we're all born with this big plate. This giant plate that we've been given as a gift. And on the plate is personality and opportunity and drive and success, all these things in life that it takes to succeed, your own ambition. All of this sits on this plate. And for a lot of us, that plate is still full. And I don't care what age you are, it's time to empty the plate. Because the day they bury you, what you want to do is you want to have that plate empty, where nothing's left on it. All your talents have been used, your personality, your drive, all the gifts that you've been given, the discipline, all the things that were on that plate the day you were born, they're empty because you went out and you lived your life to the fullest. You gulped life, you didn't sip it, you gulped it down and went after it. You got to do 10 things every day in this business. Write them down. We're going to talk about that in one of our calls. What are 10 things that I'm going to do every day in this business? You know why I'm going to write them down? Because at night I'm going to check them off. Because I can only control what I can control. I can't control who gets in, but I can control how many exposures I do. I can't control who gets in, but I can control how many presentations I do in a week. I can take charge of my life if I'll put 10 things down a day, and when I go to bed at night, I'll check all 10 of them off. Because if you go to bed and check 8 off, you failed. If you go to bed and check 9 off, you failed. If you go to bed and check 10 off, sleep tight. You had a great day. And that's the way we need to take charge of our business. And begin to realize that quit worrying about those that don't get involved with you in this business. You're going to show the right plan to the wrong people. They're not getting in. You're going to show the wrong plan to the right people. They are getting in. What I mean by that is you could do the worst presentation of your life and show it to the right person, the one who has the DNA, the one who has the dream, and guess what? They're going to go out and build this business. They're going to get excited. They're going to get fired up. But the wrong people aren't. My 4 brothers are the wrong people to show this business to. Again, I love them. They're wonderful people, but they don't have the dream. They don't have the DNA. They don't have the drive. They don't want to change their life. And so we need to quit trying to change people that don't want to change. We need to realize that when we go out and we present this business every day with a work ethic of being disciplined and committed to it, that the people who are supposed to get in are going to get in. And see, we always get to keep track. We keep tally. That's great. Think about it. If I show 5 presentations in a week and 4 of them say no to me, guess what I was that week? I batted 1,000. I was 1 for 1. The other ones don't matter. They don't count. They don't matter to me. So many times we go show this business to people and we try to explain our dream to them and we get so bummed that they don't understand our dream and what we want to do. You know what I want to tell you about your dream? Quit trying to explain it to people. Quit needing someone's approval for your dream because you don't need that. If it's been embedded in your heart, if you were given that at birth, a dream of significance, a dream of doing someday, some way, doing something great with your life, quit trying to explain it to people because the wrong people don't understand dreams, right? They don't understand. So quit trying to explain it to them. So 24/7, whatever it takes, 10 things every single day. Wisdom, number 4. You got to manage your time. Most of you are not good time managers. That's why we waste time. We look back and so many of us say, I don't have time to build this business. You know what? That's a fallacy. That's untrue. What you're telling me is you don't manage your time well. You can't be where you are. And you can't be where you are because you don't put significant squares in your box of your calendar every week to say, this is my husband time, or this is my wife time, this is my kids time, this is my Beachbody time, this is my job time, this is my time at the Little League field. Whatever it is, we just kind of, fly by the seat of our pants and wake up in the morning and try to figure out, oh man, I got 15 million things to do today and I don't know if I can get Beachbody in it. We're not good at managing our time. So we need to understand the wisdom that you can gain from becoming an organized person. The other part of that is the wisdom that comes from building this business not with emotion. That takes wisdom. That takes knowledge, right? The knowledge is the results. The knowledge is the dream. The knowledge is once I know exactly where I want to go, then getting there is just a matter of time, whatever amount of time that takes. But for most of us, the emotion stops and the integrity kicks in. When you don't feel like doing P90X, you do it because you said you would. In this business, when we don't feel like it, so many of us just don't do it because we don't emotionally feel like it. We're disappointed because we had 5 no's this week. You know what? You're not allowed to do that. I had a lady the other day, she said, I'm just really down. I said, what are you doing there? Why would you go there? That's not a place you want to be. And we can control that. That's why one of the weeks I want to talk about attitude, because we control our attitude every single day we get up. But the powerful part is you've got people in this business that give you wisdom. You've got Upline. You've got 3-way calls. You've got webinars. You've got these kind of calls, Larry's call, you got Carl's, the Monday calls, you got MJ Durkin, you got my call, you've got your own team calls. You have people spewing wisdom out to you about how to build this business. What a great asset that is. Most people start a business, nobody wants to teach them how to do it. You've got people that are saying, let me give you knowledge. And if you're willing to go to your upline and say, I'll do whatever you're willing to do, whatever you tell me to do, whatever it is, I'm willing to do it. And if you're willing to do that, you will grow a big business. Because let me tell you something, nobody wants you to succeed more than they do. They're committed to your success. Because the more successful you are, the more successful they are. So you got to be smart enough and have enough wisdom to use the tools in this business, the third-party tools. I know Larry talks about them all the time. And they're the lifeblood of the business, the third-party tools. But have wisdom. Don't just go into this thing emotionally, and when you feel like it, you do it. When you don't, you don't. You've got to have the wisdom to deal with your upline. In the Proverbs, there's a great verse that says, there's wisdom in the counsel of many. You have those people around you in your upline. You have those people around you that are willing to help you. Grab a hold of that wisdom and utilize it in your life so that you can grow and learn. You want to get on the 90-day, six-figure income road in the next 90 days to where you've got a foundation in place that will grow over the next couple of years to give you that kind of lifestyle, then use the wisdom of this organization and the wisdom of the upline and grow from that so you can go out and do the things that you want to do with your life. And the last one is what? It's to win. Okay? It's to win. You know what? Let me tell you something. The way you live your days is the way you'll live your life. The way you live your days is the way you will live your life. So those of us that feel like we wake up mornings and we go to bed at night and our days are wasted, we haven't been significant in the life of very many people. My pastor at church, Rick Warren, says, it's not about you. It's not about you, it's about others. If you understand that side of this business and you realize the way I live my days is the way I'll live my life, then you realize that when you get up in the morning and your feet hit the ground, and if I'm breathing at all, then I've got a mission. I've got something to do today. Those of you that understand the sweet spot and the DNA and understand this Beachbody company and this Beachbody business, you know what you need to do. You got to go out and share a dream. You got to go out and share in people's lives. Because people are all around you all day long that won't be alive 10 years from now because of the way they are health-wise. They won't be alive in 10 years because they have no dreams anymore and they give up on life. And you guys have an opportunity to change all those things. You got to win in this business. You got to own your life. You got to win at life. We're not talking about being average anymore. I hope the taste of average makes you sick. I hope your mouth just tastes awful when you think about being average, because average people don't do great things. People that do great things are those that are average people that decide to no longer be average. Those people that are born with that DNA. A person like me that said someday, some way I want to do something great with my life. I want to be significant beyond just building houses and being a cop. There must be something more in my life. So I guess the question is, what have you done today? What have you done today to make a difference in your life, in your kid's life, in your spouse's life? What have you done that's made a big difference today? Because like I said, the past, you look behind us, the trophies, all the things we did before, you know what? They don't mean anything anymore. What you have is this morning when you woke up until tonight when you go to bed, and tomorrow when the sun rises, you got another day to live it and to do the things that you want to do in your life. So you know what? If you've been failing at life and you've gotten this business and you made your commitments to everybody around you and told everybody what you're going to do and you haven't done it, you know what? I don't really care. Draw a line today and decide, I'm done. I'm done being sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm done sitting in this cubicle building someone else's dream. I'm going to win at life. I'm going to get in the stadium, out of the stands, off the bench, and in the game. And maybe for some of you, for the first time in your life, you're going to make a decision that's, you know what? That's it. What you said today, Craig, made sense to me. I know I have that DNA. I know I've always had it. I don't want to live regrets. They're more painful than struggle. I want to move forward in my life and be able to do the things that I've always dreamed about doing. You got to win today, and you got to win at life. And that's what this business is about. And so for 90 days, I'm going to challenge us. For the next 8 weeks, I'm going to challenge us to get on an effort and get on a road and get on a focus like we never have before. Not on emotion, not because you feel like it, but because your dream is so big you will not be denied, and be not denied the opportunity that this business has given you all. I want to say this one quote, and it's one of my favorites. If you knew you couldn't fail, how big would you dream? If you knew you couldn't fail, how big would you dream? And I want you all to think about that today as you spend the rest of your day doing whatever it is you're going to be doing. I just want you to think about that one quote. If you knew you couldn't fail, how big would you dream? And I know some of your dreams are humongous. Some of you are almost afraid to share them with people because you just know they're going to blow their minds, because this is what I believed I could do from the time I was a little kid. And then life beat me up, knocked me down. My past started to get in the way, and now I've decided it's over. I'm going to draw the line, and I'm going to keep moving forward in my life. Let me read this one of my favorite quotes, and I'm going to close. It's this: every now and then, somewhere, someplace, sometime, you're going to have to plant your feet, stand firm, and make a point about who you are and what you believe in. Let me read that one more time. Every now and then, somewhere, someplace, sometime, you're going to have to plant your feet, stand firm, and make a point about who you are and what you believe in. I hope for some of you that time is today. I hope today is the time that you said, that's it. You're going to stand up, stand firm, and say, you know what, Craig? My why, I know what it is. And when, I'm going to put a date on it. I will put a date on when I'm going to be 5-star. I will put a date on when I'm going to be a diamond in this business. I'm going to work. I'm going to do 10 things a day. I'm going to do what it takes every single day. I'm going to gain the wisdom. I'm going to learn to manage my time. But lastly, I'm going to win. I'm going to win at this business, and I'm going to win at life, and I'm going to own my life, because no one's going to make you successful until you decide that you want to be successful. So tonight, look in the mirror, point in the mirror, and say, hey, if I can find 30 people like you, we're going to build a gigantic organization. But it starts with us, because you know what? Like Rick says, it's not about you. It starts with you, but the significance in your life will come from those around you that you change their lives. And this business is the perfect place to do it. So thanks, everybody. It's been a great Tuesday morning, and I can't wait to talk to you next Tuesday. Be rhinos out there. See you later.